Welcome to Manhwa AN reader naval name. I was more overpowered than the hero, so I hid my power. Story premise: I was more overpowered than the hero, so I hid my power, is a light-hearted yet intriguing story that plays on a beloved trope in the fantasy and isekai genres. The protagonist, who has always admired characters that appear normal, but secretly possess great strength, finds themselves reincarnated in a new world with this exact desire in mind. However, things take an unexpected turn when they realize they are far more powerful than even the hero of this world, compelling them to hide their true abilities, strengths. Engaging concept: the idea of a protagonist who must conceal their overwhelming power is a classic and well-loved trope. It allows for a blend of comedy, drama, and action as the character navigates everyday life while dealing with extraordinary circumstances. Character relatability: many readers can relate to the fascination with characters who appear unassuming but have hidden depths. This narrative taps into that fascination, making the protagonist's journey both engaging and satisfying. Humor and irony: the story promises a good dose of humor, stemming from the protagonist's attempts to maintain a low profile despite their immense power. The irony of wanting to hide their abilities yet constantly being in situations that reveal them adds a comedic layer to the plot. Potential for development: the narrative sets up ample opportunities for character growth and world building. The protagonist's interactions with other characters, especially the hero, and the challenges they face in keeping their power a secret can lead to rich storytelling. Areas for improvement: character depth: while the premise is strong, ensuring that the protagonist and supporting characters are well developed is crucial. Their motivations, backstories, and relationships need to be fleshed out to maintain reader interest. Balancing humor and seriousness: the story's tone should balance humor with serious moments to avoid becoming too predictable. High-stakes situations, where the protagonist's true power is hinted at or partially revealed, can add suspense and depth. Originality and execution: while the hidden power trope is popular, the execution needs to be fresh. Unique plot twists, well-crafted secondary characters, and innovative world-building elements will help distinguish this story from similar ones. Conclusion: I was more overpowered than the hero, so I hid my power, is a promising narrative with a compelling premise that will likely resonate with fans of isekai and fantasy genres. Its humor, irony, and potential for deep character development and world building make it an engaging read. With careful attention to character depth and a balanced narrative tone, it has the potential to be a standout story in its genre. Ching Kim Hajin: due to writer's block on a popular novel called The Returnee Hero, which is known for its numerous detailed characters and world building, the author, Kim Hajin, goes on a hiatus for a long period of time. One day, Kim Hajin receives an email from homosapiens@neighbor.com, an email unknown to Hajin asking to permit a rewrite of the novel. Hajin accepts the request after careful deliberation, but suddenly awakens in a familiar yet not familiar world. He then realizes that he has become an extra, Kim Chundong, in the very novel he created. To survive and adapt to the world he was thrown into, Kim Hajin utilizes the power and knowledge of his laptop, which was given to him by the co-author, homosapiens@neighbor.com, to help Hajin out. Kim Chundong was the sole survivor of the Kwang-o incident, where 9 heroes and a large number of civilians were massacred supposedly by jinns. Having both his parents killed right after he was just born, Kim Chundong was admitted to an orphanage by the very people who killed his parents as an act of mercy. At the age of 9, Chundong was admitted to the Agent Military Academy after going through an examination for potential heroes at the orphanage. He achieved average scores while in the Agent Military Academy. During his free time, Chundong would go to a retirement center called Sunshine Haven to care for the disabled and old, especially a man called Agnes Jesus, the father of Tomer Jesus, a supporting character for the main character. Chundong would later accumulate a debt of 300 million won and only have 3,000,000 in his bank account. Shortly after, his soul was kicked out of his body and possessed by Kim Hajin. Kim Chundong was transferred to another world called Akatrina. There Chundong adapted and survived in the new world, and became more than just your average swordsman, becoming a royal knight in a kingdom ruled by Jin Sahyuk, the main antagonist of the original novel. Kim Chundong became Jin Sahyuk's first loyal subordinate when she came to power to the throne, but later betrayed him after being persuaded by her leech-like followers. That was where Chundong's life ended in Akatrina. It is said that Kim Chundong would play an important role to Kim Hajin shortly in the novel, hinted by Chundong and the co-author of the novel. Advertisement. Naval name. The Demon Prince goes to the academy. While reading hate mail for his novel, the Demon King is dead. He died due to high blood pressure, which resulted from a cardiac arrest, acute myocardial infarction. Kim, an agent of Hell's soul management department, appears before his soul and hands him a form, asking him to verify that all the information within it is correct. He asks her questions about his death, but she gets annoyed at him. Kim then explains that when someone dies, they need to first atone for their sins before they can go to heaven, and the novelist's sins were quitting multiple serializations and writing stories with terrible continuity. He wonders if that counts as a sin, but Kim explains that it happened so frequently that it increased the scale of the issue. To atone for his sins, he would need to pick one of his novels to be reincarnated into as a random character and survive until the ending. He decided to pick The Demon King is Dead. However, even though he died while reading hate mail for it, he is most likely to survive within the novel, though he can't remember why it failed. With a clap, Kim placed him in the body of Valier Jr. After being knocked back by an explosion, the prologue event is triggered, telling him to successfully flee the castle. While Valier Jr. does not appear in the novel, he quickly surmises that he is the Demon King's son, and he is at the start of the story. When the demon army is being defeated, he quickly begins to flee from the castle, realizing that as the Demon King's son, he'll be killed if he is captured. He decides to look for something useful in the warehouse. After sorting through junk, he finds a magic scroll that attempts to use the teleportation spell in it, but is negated by the movement magic barrier. He then uses the camouflage spell in it to disguise himself as a human in order to infiltrate the human prison, in order to get saved along with the other prisoners. Upon making his way to the prison cells, he is shocked that all the prisoners are dead. He then notices a survivor. Approaching her, he hands her a cracker that happened to be in his clothes from earlier. The Imperial Army then arrives to free them, and he is shocked that the girl turns out to be Charlotte de Gardias, the first Imperial princess. The two are taken to the Imperial Army field military camp where they share a meal, and Charlotte thanks him for helping her. She offers to return him to his hometown, but Valier Jr. lies, stating that he can't remember it. Charlotte vows to help him recover his memories. Valier Jr. then realizes that the princess will probably die because she was never mentioned in his novel, and the prince would most likely eliminate her in his aim for the throne. He contemplates warning her, but she sends Lance away before telling Valier Jr. that his life is in danger, explaining that her brother, Bertus de Gardias, will attempt to assassinate her using the forces at the base. She then devises a plan for them to escape, using herself as bait so that Valier Jr. can find the knight. William Francis. Thank you for watching.